I saw Gale last night. It was fantastic.
Thank
Such
you.
an incredible watch. When I was reading about it, I thought this is such a simple synopsis to it. Like there must be more, and there was so much more. Where did this come from? How did you come up with this?
I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. I suppose it's been a long time in the making. I always was fascinated with the Wizard of Oz, and especially the Return to Oz.
Mhm.
Like I watched it as a child, and I was like totally freaked out. So I was always curious about what would happen to Dorothy when she's older, like going through all that kind of trauma. Um, people getting older and having to kind of relay and look back on the things that they've had to go through as a child, and where does that kind of bring you to an adult? Do you know what I mean? And I think it was kind of parallel to certain aspects that I've seen in the lives of people around me as well. It's always a case of, you're hearing stories and it's like, you've gone through so much. Like, how does that play out in the future? So that's pretty much the kind of genesis of where the idea came from. I just really wanted to see where Dorothy Gale would be today.
Definitely. I've read so many different things about how the Oz is dealing with trauma. So
Hmm.
going into the way this movie goes, it definitely makes sense. Uh, how did you decide where Dorothy ends up? Because it was kind of unexpected for me to see her the way she is in this
Yeah.
movie, and how her relatives are dealing with the fact what she's trying to convey to them.
Yeah. So you know what? That was touched on through some real life inspiration, like seeing people that have gone through things from when they were younger and being told that, you're essentially delusional, and looking at how they're affected as they're getting older. So the Dorothy was just an exaggerated state of things that I've seen in real life. So for me, it was a case of, yeah, this woman would be in a very, very tricky situation, very tricky state, isolated, not believed, ostracized by family and friends. And it just felt like the natural conclusion of where we actually find her in the film. So I really wanted to explore beyond that, in the sense of, okay, so how would that affect her family? Is is it something that could potentially be a hereditary illness, or is it something that's going to be passed down through a lineage? And that was kind of like key to a lot of the inspiration of, okay, let's just see where this story can actually go.
Definitely, and where this part ends, there's definitely a good need for for a sequel or something else to conclude it, because
Mhm.
you it captures your attention and then it ends. So, how thought out have you had the next part or whatever it is to follow this part?
No problem. So this was, as much as it is a short film and it's very much isolated and it does its own thing, it was designed to kind of be an introduction to the feature film that is in production. Well, we're going into production very soon. And we just wanted to give an audience a taste of the world,
Mhm.
the kind of vibe and the kind of tone that we're going for, and essentially set the story up for where the feature film will be taking place. So basically, where the short film ends, is very much an indication of where the feature film will start picking pieces up and start delving into a deeper story.
Your main actress is fantastic. She's
So
so captivating. She's charming, and it's very believable what she's going through. How happy are you to have found her, and how did that process come about?
that was from, so Chloe, who plays Emily, Dorothy's granddaughter. She appeared in the very first teaser trailer that we did, when we were trying to gain initial interest, and it was just a simple call out, and we had such an amazing response to the call out, to when people knew what we were doing. But when Chloe popped up, it was kind of like a no brainer. Like, she just literally had the vibe and the embodiment of understanding the character and the source material as well. And yeah, she's just been super dedicated to making, this the best version of the film that it can be.
Definitely, and you have such an amazing list of projects. How has your progression been? What has made you want to take the step further and go into this production?
To be fair, just to have fun, you know what I mean? So my day-to-day work is very much directing and shooting a lot of different projects, whether it's for TV or, streaming platform or some form of commercial entity. This was very much a case of saying, I just want to do something for fun, something from the heart, something that speaks to me, something that resonates with the films that I watched as a child, and also allow it to be a playground to really kind of like hone my skills and kind of take things to the next level in regard to storytelling as well.
Definitely, and I think when it shows that you're having fun. It shows the passion you have. It's a fantastic project. How do you keep yourself from, I guess, overindulging? How do you keep focused with such a project?
Do you know what? It's so hard when you've got such a massive source material to go to. Like there's so many things that you're tempted to include, and certain things from even maybe that have been touched on from the other films. You have to be really disciplined to just know the story that you want to tell, and also allow yourself the freedom to know that this doesn't have to be the end. Like this can be the first story in a long line of stories that are yet to come. So it's about really kind of having an eye on the future and knowing that, let me just focus on telling this segment of the Oz universe, as it were, and just trying to make that the best that it can be. And then where that leads from that point onwards, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it.
Definitely. And watching this, yeah, you do get a lot of, I guess, homage to what has happened before, but you get a lot of new experiences as well. How do you find that balance so people are, in tune with what they've seen before, but yet are surprised with what's coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted to make sure that it's something that's new. I wanted to make sure that I kind of embraced the. It was a bit scary to kind of tackle in the beginning because obviously people don't like when you mess with a classic. Do you know what I mean? So I was very keen to make sure that it was new, but also paid homage to the original, and also was very respectful of the source material as well. So that's why certain decisions were made that are kind of faithful to the books, and making sure that while we are remaining faithful to the books in certain aspects, we are brave enough to kind of branch out and go in a direction where we're saying we want to continue this story. So it's not about trying to recreate what's already been done. It's about saying, okay, then we're going to take the story into the present, and what does that look like? Where does that go?
Definitely. And there's been so many, not just children's stories, but like very common fairy tales and nursery rhymes that have been turned into horrors that have been like pushed to a whole different genre. How do you not fall into cliche like, oh, let's just make everything overly gory and see what happens? How do you find a
Yeah,
balance?
no, it's a good question because it does feel like it is the trend at the moment to kind of take something that is in public domain and just make it as gory as possible, which I understand from a financial point of view. So it's a very quick and easy way to, find a lucrative way out. But for me, it was all about the storytelling. That's why I kind of stayed away from some of the tropes, some of the obvious routes that it could go down, and I wanted it to be very kind of psychological. Again, it's a film and a franchise that I've grown up with that has been very important within my own childhood. So I wanted to remain faithful to that. I've approached it as a fan, as if I was going to be watching this film. Like, what's a film that I would want to see? You know what I mean? Especially for something that is so beloved as the Wizard of Oz. So yeah, it was a no brainer to just do my best to kind of keep it where it's supposed to be in a respectful place.
Definitely. And I thought the pacing of the film is amazing. The suspense just brings you in and holds you until you finally get a relief. Where did that pacing come from? Because like I said, it's extremely unique. I haven't really seen something that holds you so much until you finally get a payoff.
You know what? I've got to give thanks to the team. I mean, there's so many people that have been involved in the actual creation of the film, and I think for people outside of the filmmaking world, it's so easy to kind of take credit as a director as if all of that magic is me, and it's not. There's literally so many people behind the scenes that are contributing. Like from the writing, we had Matthew Ford, who's a good friend of mine, who devised took the story and put it into a format and a pacing that actually works, and that's what you're seeing on screen now. And we've got a beautiful art department who crafted a world and put so many things in place that allowed us to navigate the space. So as opposed to hiding a shot here and hiding a shot there and forcing the pacing, we're able to kind of really design the space that we're in so we can move in it. We can take our time. We don't have to necessarily make decisions based off technicalities, but we could just stay with the art and just stay with the actual storytelling aspects.
And the other part I really loved was the cinematography. It seems so free, it seems so flowing, and yet it's very frightening at certain points. What kind of direction did you give to the cinematographer, and what kind of talks did you guys have in order to create such a feel to this movie?
Yeah, that was totally fun. That was amazing. So I was so lucky to have the people with me that I did, and the equipment as well that we had access to, in the sense of I could explain the shot, whether it's to the DP, whether it's to the Steadicam operator, and we're able to just literally just play. It's a case of, okay, I want the camera to start here, and we're going to swoop up, and then when this happens, the camera needs to swoop over here, and we go here. Like, I could say anything to these guys, and they're able to just execute very, very quickly, and understand the tone of the film that we're doing as well. So because they understand the story as well, everybody's kind of in tune with each other. So that was an absolute delight to kind of work with those guys and just have the freedom to really just translate a creative vision into something that is tangible on screen.
Definitely, and for people who will watch this, who can't wait for the sequel or whatever is to come after, how long will we have to wait?
That's a golden question. I'll have to keep you posted on that one.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this. It's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
I will definitely hope that this gets a wide audience so you can get more to this story because it's fascinating and I can't wait to see what's coming up next.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, so the short film right now is available on Chilling. So I'm hoping that as many people can see that, and hopefully we bring them along for the ride for the feature film.
Awesome. Well, congratulations and thank you once again for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You take care.
You too.